Let's talk about how spiritual practices, rituals, and habits can supersize your business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. All this month, we're talking about spiritual health and well-being and how it impacts not only us personally, but specifically in Supersize Your Business, your business or businesses in my case. So today, we're looking at three things: spiritual practices, spiritual rituals, and spiritual habits. And what I challenged the Be a Better You annual challenge group to do today was think of three ways they could demonstrate each of those different things. So 3 different practices, 3 different rituals that they are participating in or have in the past and could consider doing in the future. And then 3 habits that they have that are positively impacting the spirituality and the spiritual health and well-being of their life. And in this case, I'm going to challenge you to do the same thing, but for your business. How can having these things help us to grow and build and supersize our business? Well, to me, it's pretty self-evident and pretty apparent that if we are putting out into the world what we stand for in a way that we stand for it on a regular basis, that's going to attract the people that we want to do business with to our business, which will help us to get a competitive advantage. Because I think I've mentioned this month several times, this is one of those areas that the vast majority of business owners, unless they're a kingdom-based organization or an organization that's directly tied to some type of faith or religion or spiritual well-being or growth, don't even consider this as a factor in their business. That gives us a huge competitive advantage because we consider all the different areas and aspects of our business: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationship, contribution, communication, and confidence. And we take all of those and we build on those to create a business that's unique and special and for the exact people that we're here to serve. So I'm going to share some examples of what I have and I use or have used in my businesses and in my personal life for each of these categories, to give you an idea of how you could come up with them if you're not using any of them in your business right now. For example, practices that I have are affirmations. I do affirmations, I do meditations, and I practice gratitude. And I practice what I call 333, where every morning when I wake up, as part of my morning routine, I think of 3 things I'm grateful for. During the day, as I go about my day, and it's really easy in businesses and in life, if you're looking for things, and that's why gratitude is so powerful. You're looking for things to be grateful and thankful for and appreciate what is working in our lives to create more of that. So then during the day, I'll look for 3 things. And then at night, before I go to sleep, before I close I usually close my eyes first, but then I think about what are 3 things that I'm grateful for. I don't write them down very often anymore. I used to write them down every day to get in the habit of doing that, because what's now a practice started out as I had to make it a habit. And then now it's just automatic. Excuse my throat. I need to sneak some coffee. So what are some examples of rituals? Rituals, my morning routine has become a ritual for me. I have to do all the steps of my morning routine these days, or I get a little discombobulated. And there are spiritual components to that, which is why I put it on my rituals list. Things like rituals are things that we do, and usually other people do them too, right? Think of if you go to church or go to mass, if you use the sign of the cross, that is considered a ritualistic activity, right? Mass in and of itself, or church in and of itself, and the different religious services that we have, those are usually rituals, right? Prayer, giving thanks, gratitude before meals, or, whenever you're having a snack or something. Everybody's different, but saying grace is a ritual. Saying your night prayer is a ritual. Saying any kind of prayer is usually kind of a ritual. Attending services, holiday celebrations are often focused around spiritual activities and beliefs and habits and rituals. Some habits that I personally participate in. I have a hypnosis app that I absolutely adore called Believe from Victoria Gallagher. I think I'm over 500 days in a row on that particular app. Can't remember how many, but over 500 days in a row. And it's got meditations, affirmations, and hypnosis on all different topics. And what I do is I create a playlist for each, and I just started doing this year, for each month and the topic that we're focusing on. So this month is spiritual. So every day I'm listening to spiritual hypnosis affirmations and meditations all day long in the background as I'm doing anything else. It irritates some people, but I keep it really quiet so it doesn't bother them. I do affirmations every morning, affirmations about my personal life and about my businesses. And I think that affirmations are a spiritual connection type tool. Another habit I have is using the SOAP framework. I think I share that every month. It's definitely become a habit. Breath work, grounding, affirmations, meditation, nature. Other examples of things that we could use to help supersize our businesses, spiritual health and well-being, and create practices, rituals, and habits from them are charity, giving back to our communities, fasting, pilgrimages, acts of service, visiting holy places, which I think are pilgrimages, follow your particular principles and mission and vision that you've created for your organization, assuming it's to make the world a better place, of course. Different types of worship, meditation, mindfulness, sacred texts, reading of them. I know some businesses that have groups, spiritual groups within the organization that do Bible study. I don't do that in any of my businesses, but people could if they wanted to form a group. I let people in my organization come together and form communities and groups on pretty much anything they want. Life cycle. I can't read the rest of them. I've got a bunch of them written down. I do that. I'll write notes like right before I go to bed, and then I can't read them the next day. That is probably a ritual, right, of mine for documenting my life journey. So today, what are we going to do? We're going to think about how different spiritual activities, meaning habits, rituals, routines, practices, whatever you want to call them, can be incorporated into our business life and routine. Some businesses pray before every staff meeting. Some businesses pray before every lunch, but whatever works for you and connects what is right for your organization to a spiritual aspect of that organization is the kind of things you want to consider here. Any questions about this? Hit me up and ask. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.